Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Siddhi channel. We were examining the formula of happiness last time when we met, and we will continue the examination. The examination of the topic, as you are aware, is based on the Vedas. The Vedas are ancient Hindu texts. What we had examined last time was that human beings are trying to find happiness in a particular way, which is they're trying to fulfill more and more desires, and they keep on ticking these boxes of filling more and more desires, but fulfilling these desires is working at an AP curve. Means what? It means they move at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at that pace. Whereas our total desires, which we had at the beginning of our life, are also continuously increasing, and those total desires are moving at a GP curve, which means what? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 128, etc., etc. So there is a pace of difference between what we are able to fulfill against what we are looking forward to fulfilling. And with this formula, we will never be able to find total happiness, and that is what we are seeking. So we said we would examine what the Vedas have to say about how to find total happiness. The Vedas say that while this formula is not successful, for the happiness to take place, you have to fulfill two criteria. The cause and effect relationship has to be seen, and once that cause and effect relationship is fulfilled by two specific words, they're known as anavaya, means in the presence of the cause, the result should take place. Anavaya means in the presence of the cause, the result should take place. Vyatirekaha means in the absence of the cause, the result will not take place. And Vyatirekaha means that in the absence of the cause, the result will not take place. What is example to prove this? Let's say if there is a fire. In the presence of the fire, there will always be smoke. Second example, when there is no fire, there will never be any smoke. Both are fulfilled. In the presence of the fire, there will always be smoke. In the non-presence of fire, there cannot be smoke. Similarly, if I take another example, if I plant a seed, that seed will give me a tree, that is the effect. The cause is the seed, the effect is the tree. If the cause, that is the seed, is taken away, then I cannot have the effect called the tree. So, as far as money and possessions are concerned, if they are the cause, then happiness should be the effect. But that need not be so. We have not seen that because without the cause, that is money and possessions and comfort, also we see a lot of human beings which are happy. Since we see there is the second condition is not fulfilled, that without the money also people are still happy, we have to examine that there is something more that is happening. Why? Because if you see your forefathers, they didn't have the comforts that you have. They didn't have the air conditioning. They didn't have the mobile phones. They didn't have the television. But can you say they were less happy than you? No. In fact, they may have been more happier than you. Today, if you were to read the Vedas, they will only tell you you are maybe comfortably more unhappy. You are maybe comfortably more happy. You're not happier than your forefathers. In fact, one of the most happiest moments in my life and the happiest face that I've ever seen in my life happened about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, on a very bleak, dreary, very, very cold winter night, I was returning from my sister's home. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. I was parked at the red light, which is just outside her home. The heating had yet not kicked in, and I was feeling cold even with a thick jacket on. Suddenly, I turned around and I saw this urchin who was knocking at the window, and he had the most beautiful smile I've ever seen in my life. till date. I have never seen such a smile, and I'm looking forward to put such a smile on my face. But that boy had not a thread of clothes upon him, and yet the happiness that he showed on his face was the most beautiful that I have seen. So, can you say he was comfortable? No. Can you say he had possessions? No. Can you say he had money? Of course not. He was a street urchin. He had no clothes on, literally, but he had happiness which could be seen with the smile I had seen. So that point has to be kept in mind. And the Shastras, the Vedas, which are the ancient Hindu texts, speak a lot about this formula of happiness. And what do they say? Both the conditions have to be fulfilled. How can those both conditions be fulfilled is an answer that we will be investigating. But the Shastras say happiness can only be fulfilled when you have punyam in your life. Punyam, the Shastras say, is an unseen force, and that punyam is generated through a dharmic way of life. If a human being leads a life based on dharma, the Shastras speak totally on this topic in a very intense and in-depth way. The topic is called Dharma. And when I looked at my teacher and I said, thank you, he said, you're welcome, but I still see a question mark on your face. What is that question? So I said, sir, I do understand that punyam is the only way that I will get happiness, and that punyam is generated through a dharmic way of life. But what I'm not clear about is how to lead that dharmic way of life. What is this dharma that I had to follow? So he said, well, I will explain to you. And what he explained to me about dharma and a dharmic way of life is what we would be looking forward to listening to in the next session. And in future sessions, we will be talking about topics such as success, topics such as fear, anxiety, productivity, etc., etc. So thank you for tuning in today and look forward to you having a nice day. Keep safe, keep healthy. Cheers. God bless you.